I don't know what you believe in or what faith you follow, but I want to share something special with you, my personal relationship with Jesus Christ. This isn't just a story or an idea. It's my real-life experience with my Savior. I want to share my testimony with you, and I believe it can help you see life from a new perspective. Trusting in a Savior like Jesus can bring peace and rest, even in the midst of challenges.
I was born into a Christian family. From the time I was young, church was part of my life. Every Sunday, I followed my parents and especially my grandmother to worship services. I sang the songs, listened to the sermons, and sat faithfully in the pews. But deep inside, I did not truly understand what any of it meant. Church had become a routine, something I did because it was the tradition of my family. Then one day, everything changed. I was 16 years old when God began to call my heart. That evening during a church service, the pastor stood at the pulpit and preached with passion. I cannot remember every word he spoke, but I remember what I felt. It was as though heaven itself had opened and God was speaking directly to me through him. Every sentence pierced my heart. It felt impossible, as if the pastor somehow knew every hidden struggle, every secret thought, every emptiness inside me. My heart began to race. As the sermon came to an end, the pastor lifted his voice and said, "Come, the Lord is calling you." It was an invitation to the whole congregation, but to me, it felt deeply personal. In that moment, I knew God was calling me, but I was afraid. Shame and hesitation held me frozen in my seat. I wanted to respond, but I could not move. I stayed where I was, pretending everything was normal while a battle raged inside my soul. That night, lying alone in my bed, I could no longer hold back my tears. The words of the pastor echoed again and again in my heart. Suddenly, it felt as if the presence of God filled my room. I cannot fully explain it, but it was as though a light had entered the darkness of my soul. A light full of truth, love, and mercy. For the first time in my life, I realized that God was real. Not just a story I heard in church, not just the God of my parents or grandparents. He was alive, and he wanted a personal relationship with me. That night changed me forever. From that moment on, prayer was no longer empty words. Worship was no longer routine. Reading the Bible became something I desired with all my heart. I wanted to know God deeply. I wanted to walk with him, love him, and live for him. His love filled me with joy, peace, and hope unlike anything I had ever known. But as the years passed, life became complicated. I learned that even believers face struggles, disappointments, and battles. Slowly, as I entered adulthood, my passion for God began to fade. The distractions of the world pulled my heart in different directions. I still prayed, I still worshiped, I still called myself a Christian, but inwardly, I had become lukewarm. I was torn between loving God and loving the world. Whenever sadness or disappointment came, my faith weakened. The fire that once burned so brightly inside me became dim. I drifted farther from the closeness I once had with God, though he never stopped being faithful to me. Even in my wandering, God continued to bless my life. At 29, I married the woman I loved. Together we built a beautiful family. I became a teacher, grateful for a meaningful career and a peaceful life.
Remember, practice and patience will strengthen your understanding every single day.
Then came our precious daughter, the greatest joy of our hearts. She filled our home with laughter, love, and happiness. Life felt complete. Everything seemed perfect, until the day everything suddenly changed. One ordinary evening after returning home from work, I felt a sharp pain in my chest. At first, I tried to ignore it. I thought it was just gas or exhaustion, but within moments, the pain became unbearable. It felt like a knife stabbing deep into my chest. I struggled to breathe. I could barely walk. Fear began to rise inside me. My wife rushed me to the hospital, both of us uncertain and terrified. After several tests, the doctors delivered words that shattered my world.
You've had a heart attack.
The room fell silent. I stared at the doctors in disbelief, while my mother beside me broke down in sorrow. My mind filled with fear, confusion, and questions I could not answer. Was this really happening to me? I called my wife and tried to sound calm. "It's okay," I told her weakly. "Whatever God gives me." But deep inside, I was terrified. When my family heard the news, they surrounded me with prayers, encouragement, and faith. Their words became strength for my fragile heart. Yet another burden quickly appeared.
I'm afraid he needs to be transferred to a specialized cardiac hospital immediately. The facilities here aren't equipped for this procedure.
And the financial cost felt overwhelming. That night in the hospital became the darkest night of my life. As I lay on the hospital bed beside my exhausted wife, I could not escape one painful truth. I had drifted far from God. The voices of other patients faded into the background while memories flooded my mind. I thought about my failures, my lukewarm faith, and all the times I had neglected the God who loved me faithfully. Then, suddenly, around 1 a.m., a terrifying burning sensation spread through my chest. My heart felt as though it was overheating inside me. Panic took over. I called for my wife to get the nurse. Doctors rushed into the room. Machines beeped urgently around me. They performed an emergency ECG, but confusion spread across their faces.
Emergency, we can see CG.
They can't read the ECG.
Everything began fading into darkness. It felt as though death itself was pulling me away. But in the middle of that darkness, I heard a voice, gentle, soft, yet filled with authority and love. "Get up." Those two words pierced through the darkness surrounding me. Get up. In that instant, something happened deep inside me. Strength returned to my body. My heart began beating steadily again. Outside the room, my family waited anxiously. And I began to cry. Not because of fear, not because of pain, but because I knew, with absolute certainty, that Jesus Christ had touched me personally. In that hospital room, I encountered the faithfulness of God in a way I had never known before. I asked myself over and over, why would God still remember someone like me? Someone who had drifted away? Someone who had become lukewarm? Then the answer came quietly into my heart. Even if we are faithless, He remains faithful. The days that followed were filled with treatment, recovery. God had given me a second chance, not just to live, but to return fully to Him. When I finally walked out of the hospital, I carried more than medicine in my hands. I carried the voice of my Savior in my heart. Get up. And even today, those words still echo within my soul. A reminder that God's mercy is greater than my failures. His love is stronger than death, and His faithfulness never runs out.